Hello, everybody. Today is February. I had to think for a second as to what month it was. February 17th, 2022. It's another Thursday. It's another Ask Me Anything for the Linchpin private track. Members submit questions, other members upvote them, and I, answer the top few every week. And then we get some shout outs at the end. Unfortunately, this week, the top most upvoted question is one that I wish was not the most upvoted question because it's embarrassing. And it's from Angela W. So, Angela, thank you for posting the question. And to the rest of the Linchpin community that probably is enjoying harassing me in this moment, thanks to all of you for making it the most upvoted question. And I say thank you sarcastically. So, Angela's question is, what do you think about being on the CrossFit Games Crush list? So, I guess, what was it? The Morning Chalk Up put out a CrossFit Games Crush list where they polled the community, and the top responses made the post, and somehow I'm on the list. I don't know how. I think people need to probably raise their standards if I'm on the Crush list. I don't know if it speaks well to the world. I will say I got a notification on Instagram when that happened that I was on this particular list, and I'm sure that they were either looking for me to repost it or looking for a reply back as to my thoughts and feelings on the list, which they would probably then share with the world. And I was so caught off guard and just uncomfortable by the whole thing that I didn't even respond. I had no idea what to say, so I just said nothing, just deleted the message, and that was that. And I was hoping that it would go unnoticed. Unfortunately, my wife saw this very same list and has been mercilessly teasing me ever since then. So, she's also shared it with the kids, who have also started mercilessly harassing me. So, I'll probably be filing a lawsuit against my family. So thank you, Angela, for bringing that up, and thanks to this wonderful Linchpin community for making it the most upvoted question. Let's move on to some other topics. The next one is from CW CrossFit, and it's about leaderboards, I believe. Here we go. From CW CrossFit, do you think whiteboard scores in a gym are encouraging, or are they divisive and demoralizing? Okay, so do I think whiteboard scores, so you do a workout, everyone's times go up on the board next to their names, loadings go up on a heavy day next to their names, and the question is that encouraging to people? You might like it if you're at the top, but what if you're routinely in the bottom 50% or the bottom 25%, or you're the last name every darn day? Is this encouraging, and fires you up to climb up that list, or is it a bit demoralizing and divisive? So I would say this is just my personal opinion on this matter. And I think you could take this question and remove the whiteboard scores topic and put in any almost number of other topics, issues, whatever it happens to be. And what I mean by that is, it's my opinion that it's all about the leadership running that facility, in charge of that community, and the culture that has been created in that gym, in that community, in that group of people, in that environment. And it's all about the manner in which any information is presented or explained. I am really, I think I can say this pretty well. I really think you can say almost anything to anyone or have almost any discussion on any topic with anyone. It really comes down to how you're saying it and how you're presenting it. I think that delivery and context and intention are very, very powerful and make or break any particular topic. So I could see scores going up on a whiteboard in a gym, potentially being a negative thing if the culture in that gym is, I don't know, that it pays to be a winner and these people are the best and they're better than you, they're fitter, faster, and stronger than you, and if you're at the bottom of the leaderboard, you are not trying hard enough and you should be striving to be more like so and so and this and that. Like, my goodness, I hope that's not happening at any gym. I mean, that's I would think an extreme presentation personally. I don't know, maybe it is, but that I could see not going well. But if we had a whiteboard and names went up there and those names were rank ordered, based upon their finish and performance in the gym, and it was nothing more than it's just a presentation of data. That's it. It's just a snapshot of where you happen to be on a particular day, period, end of story. And it was encouraging and everybody was celebrated for one way or for one thing or another. I think you could have that very same whiteboard be a place that people would happily put their names on, even if their name was near the bottom. Because look, if somebody shows up every day and they're putting in the work and they've got a great coaching staff that cares and they know about them, they've got this awareness of self, of what they need to be doing as well, and they're improving, then they could still potentially finish dead last in a workout and have the last spot on the whiteboard, but they might have had 1, 2, or 3 small, medium, or large victories in that workout for them personally, even though they're at the bottom of the leaderboard. So, I don't know, maybe the workout of the day is Diane, and 21:59 deadlifts and handstand push-ups. And I could pick any sort of person, right? But let's say it's an individual that it's got decent strength, they can do the deadlifts. I'm not saying they're unbroken, but they can do the deadlifts. Lifelong struggle with handstand push-ups. Always scaled, modified, which is awesome and cool and the way to do it. And maybe they decide to, I don't know, today instead of doing shoulder press, they're going to actually kick upside down, maybe in a pike position, knees or feet on a box, and do handstand push-ups with their head to an ab mat. And they know that in doing that, it's going to take them a really long time, and they were already slow at Diane, already couldn't do it prescribed. Now they're doing this modification, and they are most certainly going to be one of the last people finishing because it's outside their comfort zone, because it's a big struggle. In my opinion, like, who cares, right? Who cares that you're near the bottom of the leaderboard? That's me talking, though. But that person, even if their name is near the bottom of the leaderboard, there's room for celebration, right? Because, well, today so-and-so didn't shoulder press, chose a different modification, really pushed themselves, that, forced them to take big, long breaks of rest because it was such a demanding route that they decided to go, but they stuck with it and they eventually got in all the sets. Big round of applause, big congratulations, awesome. Or maybe somebody else is at the bottom of the leaderboard because they're doing banded pull-ups, and maybe they're still doing banded pull-ups on a different workout, but today they decided to switch bands to a band that would be a bit more challenging, give them a little bit less help. And so that's going to slow them down. Now it's going to be good for them in the long run, but it's going to slow them down, and they were already doing banded pull-ups there, and maybe they were already a bit slow. They're already in the bottom half of the leaderboard, and they're most certainly going to be there again today. Whoop-de-doo, right? Like, there's a reason to celebrate that person. And even you could find a reason to give anybody a high five in any place on that leaderboard. And so, getting back to my personal opinion, that it's all in how you present it. It's all about the culture of that gym. It's all about how the leadership is developing the thoughts, feelings, and actions of that community. The ball's in your court. So I don't think it's as easy as saying, are scores on a whiteboard encouraging or demoralizing? I don't think you can just say that they're one or the other. I don't think it's quite that binary and clear cut. I think there's a whole bunch of environmental factors going into which one of those answers shakes out in any particular community. I mean, just look at Linchpin with scaling, right? Does anyone following Linchpin think that scaling is a bad word? I mean, I certainly hope not. We've done 240 of these shows, podcasts, or whatnot, just pounding it into everyone's head because it's the truth. It's not marketing or propaganda. It's the truth that scaling is intelligent, that it's cool, that it's a smart thing to do, that more people should do it more often, that if you are doing it, chances are you've made a smart decision, not an unintelligent decision, and that's good. Being intelligent is good. And so it certainly does not have a bad name in Linchpin. Now, there's a possibility that in some other community or some other gym somewhere, that I don't know, I've heard stories anyway of, some so-and-so feels bad that they have to scale it because there's always this huge push to go RX. Well, then in that environment, based upon what's happening in that culture with that leadership, well, then, yeah, that word, scaling, could have an entirely different feel than it does here at Linchpin. And I think you could play the same game with scores on the whiteboard or any other particular issue. So that would be my 2 cents on that. So hopefully that helps. Next one is from Chris L. Chris, where are you, sir? Here we go. What resources do you use besides the CrossFit Journal when it comes to pursuing knowledge, understanding, and doing research for health, wellness, personal development, etc.? A lot of different stuff in there. Health, wellness, and personal development. It's almost an entirely different topic, question, subset of books and podcasts and whatnot. So maybe we'll table that for a later day. I'm almost certain that this question has been answered before, but we can chat about it real quick anyway. I have a 1-800 number that I call to somebody that has a crystal ball, and I just get answers from them, and then I make decisions based upon how that call goes. No, obviously not. Okay, so anyway. So a whole bunch of different stuff, but varying in degrees of utility. Maybe that's one way that I can say it. I put some things down on paper so my mind wouldn't wander. So just based upon the fact of strength, conditioning, CrossFit, eating, everything that I do is my utterly and completely, full-time job, occupation for going on over 16 years now. Everything that I've ever looked at on my phone, any social media thing, any Google search. Well, now with as smart as all those things are, all that I'm inundated with, because it always learns what you're searching, I'm just constantly inundated with information from every walk of life of everything strength and condition and fitness related that you could possibly imagine. And I peruse some of it, not all of it, because it'd be impossible to peruse all of it. And a lot of it also, I would say, is feces out of the backside of the bull. There's a lot of junk in the fitness world that is just minutes of your day you'll never get back reading or watching any particular thing. So, and then I also have, from all the paths that I've crossed in my life, from all the people that I've met at Level 1 seminars, all the people I've interacted with, through the Rogue Invitational, or just interviewing people or doing podcasts, that has been just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, from powerlifting, Olympic lifting, collegiate sports, nutrition, you name it. There's always an exchange of information, text threads, links being sent, articles being sent. It's overwhelming. And what's fun now, I'm already getting on a tangent. See, this is why I tried to put some thoughts down here so I wouldn't stray. Malcolm Gladwell, I believe one of the books that I read from him, had some point that I very much agreed with, and I think he likened it to some previous war that had occurred, that at a certain point, more information is not actually useful. Now, somebody will be able to point me to the Malcolm Gladwell thing that I'm thinking of, that a certain amount of information is helpful, and if it's nice and diverse and sparks some thought, that's great. And this, I don't know if he ever quantified what the perfect amount of information would be, if anybody would ever actually be able to know. But after a certain point, more information is actually not useful, because it just nonstop pours in and nonstop pours in, and it clouds your judgment, and then you flip-flop back to this, and then more information pours in, you flip-flop back to that, and all of a sudden you're left in this indecisive state of not knowing what the heck to do, because you're literally drowning in information. So information, education, research, experience, the whole 9 years, without question, valuable, and without question, a very large amount of that crosses my path, or I seek it out and peruse some degree of it. But after a certain point, it's not as beneficial as you may think, and it's amazing how much is just repetitive, or somebody else with a new business idea, marketing scheme, whatever it happens to be, is trying to just put a different coat of paint on something that's been out there for 10 years and market it as if it's something different, when quite frankly, when you peel the coat of paint back, there's nothing new there. Sadly, a lot of the fitness industry is like that. The fitness industry is really heavy on marketing and advertising and really light on useful results. Overwhelmingly so. And getting back to your thing of, resources besides the CrossFit Journal, good things may cross your path every now and then, but I'm here to tell you, you're going to be, if you're looking for one-stop shopping, you're going to be hard-pressed to find something other than the CrossFit Journal that, on a regular basis, doesn't just have a good article every now and then, didn't just tell the truth every now and then, and the other times they were peddling their wares. Just issue after issue was solely focused on finding the truth, finding what works, and didn't care if academia didn't like it, didn't care if big business didn't like it, didn't care what the norms were, like what actually works. And let's dive into that. And that largely, that's true CrossFit. Now people call it old school CrossFit, which is a shame. That's true CrossFit. That's what works. I'm so far on a tangent right now, it's unbelievable. And that also shaped and shifted, it was kind of the birth of CrossFit. Linchpin, really, is just the relentless pursuit of the truth. No fluff, no fancy media, no nothing. We're going to do what works. If you'd like to join us, fantastic. If not, we're not doing something different because it's en vogue or popular and then it fades away 2-3 months from now. We're going to do what works, and it works really well, and it's sustainable. And that's also where these Linchpin conversations were born as well. I mean, if you're listening to these Linchpin conversations, you are a fitness nerd and seeker of the truth. And that's fantastic. So am I. But they're not just full of flashy clickbait, which most other things in media or the fitness space are. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Let me get back to this. I'm so far off. So yes, the CrossFit Journal is a treasure. I'm sorry. It's an amazing treasure. And I think back, talking about resources, when I was on the level 1 seminar staff, and I've said this before, so I was on staff as a flow master for maybe like 4 years, did like 200 seminars. So that was 50 seminars a year, every weekend, a different country or city, basically other than Christmas and New Year's, every year for 4 years. And that was my full-time gig. So Friday was usually a travel day to get to wherever the seminar was, work Saturday, work Sunday. Depending upon where the seminar was, maybe I can get home Sunday night, maybe not. If I'm in Sydney, Australia, no. Or wake up on Monday, get home sometime on Monday. But that largely left Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for me to be at home before I start packing the suitcase and traveling again. And since that was my full-time gig, lecturing on all these things, answering questions, and this is back in the day when CrossFit wasn't as ubiquitous as it is right now and largely accepted as actually working. It seemed like heresy and witchcraft, and it was so contrarian that every single lecture, every single seminar, the amount of pushback from the audience and people that had their, whatever strength and conditioning credential from some other place, like it was like war every weekend, made you quite a good, talented public speaker because you had to defend whatever you were saying. But it was challenging, exhausting. But I always wanted to be prepared for whatever question, from whatever community, from whatever background, from whatever anything you could get. that I would usually spend Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at least, if not maybe one of those other weekdays as well, depending upon what my travel schedule looked like, at the local Starbucks down the road from my house. I would go there for 4 hours and I would just read on all these different topics that Chris L is saying, like what other resources do you get? I read this over the course of 4 years, so whatever that is, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 hours of reading a day, 52 weeks a year for 4 years. The essentials of strength and conditioning from the NSCA, like whatever book, text, journal that you could think of, I was probably going to get a question about it, and so I would just immerse myself in it over and over and over again. I spent so many hours of my life doing that. And I do, like I said, to this day to a lesser degree, but that was to a maniacal, crazy degree because I was constantly lecturing with a hostile audience. And what was amazing with it, just, you put me on a polygraph for this. All those hours and hours and hours of immersing myself in all this just fancy scientific literature from the biggest whatevers. I would leave most of those sessions and nothing that I read that day would change what I was about to go do in the gym. I don't know. I just had some information to answer a question at a seminar in case it popped up, and I could speak to this, and I could speak to this sort of progression, I could speak to this periodization, I could speak to whatever. But none of it actually was more potent, more powerful, more effective, and more useful and got you actually fitter than what we did at CrossFit. Than constantly varied functional movements at high intensity, laid out and programmed in an intelligent design. None of it. It just sounded good, sounded smart during lectures. So immerse yourself in as much of that stuff as you want, but I'm here to tell you from somebody who did it for a dizzying number of hours and years. If I just had to point somebody to one place that they wouldn't waste their time and they would get the by far the most bang for their buck, it'd be the CrossFit Journal. And then, not to come off as tooting our own horn or whatnot, but it's been my goal with these Linchpin conversations as well. I feel like if somebody started on Linchpin conversation number 1 and listened to these last 240 that we've done, they would get a real and honest education on strength and conditioning, what actually works, what doesn't work, why it works, why we don't do something else. That is, I hope, a wonderful resource for a tremendous amount of people. So that's that. And I would say the other thing as well is, on top of all that background that I feel very fortunate and blessed to have had all those years to do as my full-time occupation. Not a lot of people actually get to do that. And then over the course of 200 seminars, if each seminar has about 50 people in a live audience, that's 10,000 people. Those 10,000 people that I interacted with are from all walks of life, from teenagers to senior citizens to professional athletes to soldiers to firefighters to folks with regular jobs to amputees to every, not just professional athletes, but every sport, collegiate sports, full-time strength and conditioning coaches, power lifters, you name it. And I had all these shared experiences and discussions with all these people, because that's what you would do at the level 1, not only during the lunch breaks, but at the end of day 1 when there was like a pizza party. Everybody would just hang out for 2 hours and we would all just talk about our experiences and what worked and what didn't work and what brought us here. And I'm here to tell you, from every single one of those walks of life or different disciplines or academia, whatever it happened to be, all came back overwhelmingly so to the same theory, that what we're doing with CrossFit, it's the path. So, and then on top of that, just, what we have at Linchpin is what most people hoping to propel strength and conditioning or human performance forward would kill for. We have a community, a body of people in the thousands engaged in this pursuit from all different walks of life, from all different age ranges, from all different everything, skills and ability levels, posting scores, giving feedback. It is a living, breathing organism that a team of scientists would kill for. And I'm fortunate and blessed to be able to read through it, oversee it every single solitary day, and drive forward from that. It's so all of that together. And then, of course, my group of individuals that we just talk regularly, and since we're all CrossFit nerds, we're always talking about best practices. All of that together is what keeps everything on the right path. So that was a very long answer. My apologies for that. Okay, next most upvoted one was from Lauren T. So basically curious as to why we don't have time caps on workouts. And I would say the short answer is because they're largely unnecessary. And that might seem like an abrupt answer, but it's not. A very simple metric to figure out whether or not something is necessary is to look back and see if there has or has not been one, and then how is everyone doing. The overwhelming majority of people that I know in the last 16 or 17 years of CrossFit are doing it every day without a time cap, and everyone's progressing. So that, in and of itself right there, tells me that it's not necessary and mandatory. However, that doesn't mean that somebody might not like one every now and then, right? Or it might be a useful piece of information for somebody every now and then. So I would say if you are interested in using something as a time cap every now and then for a workout, then I would use the goal times that we provide on the private track. And I would not use the Super Fitness Robot times. I would take the more likely time that's given. And if you want to hold yourself to that, even though I've said before that that's not a hard perimeter, it's a soft perimeter, right? But if you wanted to use that as a general rule for a time cap, again, I don't think it's necessary for you to do it, but that would be what my recommendation would be for you there. Okay, maybe one more quick one here. I think there was one that was upvoted. Here we go. All right, maybe this is a good one to end on here. Let's see. This is from LVOC. Says, is it a deliberate choice not to promote CrossFit Linchpin more? I feel like it is one of the hidden gems of CrossFit, and it really is what CrossFit should be, yet it doesn't get enough recognition, in my opinion. Is that because you're concerned it could change its DNA, or is there a different answer? Balance of life and all these things. First of all, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't, I had the other questions that we were going to answer there lined out really nice. I didn't have a lot of well thought out bullet points for why this one is. I don't have a good answer as to why I don't promote CrossFit Linchpin more. I certainly understand that it's I guess you could say it's important, right? I mean, believe we're putting out the best thing that people could be doing for strength and conditioning in the whole world to live a long, healthy life and be profoundly fit and capable in the shortest period of time with no fluff needed. But I don't know, I just spend my time, it takes a really long time to do everything that we have to do. When I say we, I guess it's just me, to do everything I have to do to put out the workouts, the programming, the accessory works, the warm-ups, the cool-downs, all the different varying options, the goal times. I mean, it doesn't leave a lot of time to promote. And, when I started this thing, as I've said before, it wasn't my idea to start this. It was a recommendation from the community. And so I've just kept doing what I've always been passionate about doing, which is, and it actually kind of links back to like Chris L's question and whatnot. I've always been just passionate about telling the truth in fitness, cutting through the tremendous amount of BS that's out there, cutting through the smoke and mirrors, there's, like I said, there's so much, even in the CrossFit space, I'm sorry, there's so many things that are heavy on flash, heavy on social media, heavy on, high level of media production, but just low on actual results and fun and community, that I don't want to do all that stuff that everyone else is doing. I just want to put out what I think is the best stuff in the world. And I always just figured that if we're putting out the best stuff in the world, it would the word would get out. The word would spread. And largely that's been true. I don't buy any Instagram ads or Google ads or anything like that. I don't have any slick marketing campaign. I just try to put the best stuff out there and have the best community, period, end of story. And I figured that everything else would work itself out. And it really has. I mean, Linchpin has grown beyond my wildest dreams doing that, just telling the truth and making fantastic workouts and not marketing. So, I mean, should I do it? I don't know. I don't know. But I don't have any plans for the time being. I'm going to keep doing what we're doing, which is serving all of you to the best of my ability, doing what I think is right. And it's great. And I think we're in a wonderful spot where, again, I really just can tell the truth in fitness. I don't have to worry about keeping any particular sponsor happy or whatnot. I can tell you if something's good. I can tell you if something's bad. I can shoot you straight. And I just feel like that's rare in 2022, that you can go to some place and actually hear the truth about what you need to do and be surrounded by some fantastic people while you do it. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Okay, I think that's that. As everyone's probably seen, people are sending in from the Linchpin private track a video of their workout space, whether it's in their garage, their living room, their backyard, whatever it happens to be. And if you want to do that, shoot a video. Try to keep it under 10 minutes. Maybe shoot in landscape mode would be great on your phone. You can upload it to a YouTube channel and just send me the YouTube link. Send it to info, I-N-F-O, info at CrossFitLinchpin.com, and I will eventually get to it and put it up on the CrossFit Linchpin YouTube channel. But that playlist is growing, and it's really cool to see where everybody's working out. So if you haven't yet, go to the CrossFit Linchpin YouTube channel, click on the playlist marked Garage Gym Tours, and I think we've got, 15, 18 videos up there already, and it's been growing every day, so it's really cool. Okay, let's end with a few Linchpin shout-outs. Here we go. First one is entitled The Committed Club, and it's from Tyler S. Tyler says, in terms of arbitrary accomplishments, I'm pretty pleased with this one. This is my 40th straight month of hitting the Committed Club on BTWB. The Committed Club, maybe he says it. For people new to this community, or maybe you've been around for a while and you're hitting a rough patch, there is something to be said about showing up to the gym consistently and getting a sweat. I've been blessed that my wife and I committed several years ago to creating a home gym in our garage. So, the Committed Club, if you're unfamiliar with it, I believe that's if you log at least three workouts per week for the entire month, you are a member of the Committed Club in BTWB. And consistency pays off, as Tyler is saying there as well. And so congrats. He was in that Committed Club for 40 straight months. That's awesome. Okay, next one is from Stuart S. Let me grab this so I can read it. Okay. So this was a workout that was some bike calories, some chest to bar pull-ups, and some clean and jerks. And so Stuart says, I did tomorrow's workout today. Had some rain heading our way, etc., etc. I just wanted to say thanks to Pat and everyone at Linchpin for making it feel normal to tweak things, modify, move things around, and not have to go fully RX'd and to scale things. My chest to bars are not strong enough to do 36 in a workout. I've ever only done them in the open, but it felt good to get some in. And the clean and jerk wildcard weight felt fine, but Pat's message of scale if you can't do 10 unbroken made me rethink it. But something more than that scaled felt like a good challenge while maintaining to keep intensity. Now here's the cool part. I don't think I would have made these sensible decisions without listening to the podcast for the past year and buying into the methodology. And I've been doing CrossFit for over 8 years. That's cool. That is also tied into some of the questions we had in the AMA today. Telling the truth in fitness. Getting back to CW CrossFit's question about whiteboard scores, are they good or bad? And I kind of brought up the scaling word. Like, it's all in how you present it, right? In the community that you want to build. And we've built one here at Linchpin that, who cares if you do it RX'd? Do the workout that's best and smartest for you. And so Stuart, maybe he was been in one of those environments before that wasn't encouraged, because he says, I've been doing CrossFit for over 8 years, but now he finally feels like, hey, it is okay if I have to modify a workout. It's okay. So I love hearing that. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Here's the final one. This is from an individual who I've never met in person, but he's active in the private Facebook group, and his posts usually crack me up. I don't know him, but he strikes me as having a dry sense of humor and being potentially sarcastic, but not sarcastic in like a mean or cutting way, but just, again, more of a dry sense of humor, which I find enjoyable and funny. It's John W. John says, okay, in the summer of 2014, after my heart surgery, it took me almost 4 minutes to do 18 burpees. So let's unpack that. 2014, he had heart surgery, and to do in 4 minutes time, he could only do 18 burpees. That was all I could do before I had to stop. Going sub 4 minutes for 50 burpees has been a goal of mine for a few years. And now he posts a photo of his watch that he did it on this day in 3 minutes and 38 seconds. And he says, unfortunately, now I've put myself in a position to try to go sub 3:30. So how cool is that? Talking about making smart decisions. Gentleman had heart surgery in 2014. Took him 4 minutes to do 18 burpees and has scaled, modified, used his brain, and now in 2022, or this actually was in 2021 when he posted this, late 2021, did 50 burpees sub 4, 3 minutes 38 seconds. That is absolutely phenomenal. And that's what we're going to keep doing and celebrating here at Linchpin. So that's it. Thanks to everybody for being wonderful. Enjoy your rest day. I certainly know that I'm going to. My baby's still asleep, so that's glorious. And we will talk later.